Okay, so I'm gonna end this one. I'll get you over there. Hmm. Hmm. There's some more food news. Just this one. So I have chat. On the full screen over there. Alright, I put it back down there. I'm going to be on the other screen. So we'll do it good. Yes, please stream. Oh, that's what's going on. Oops. Gone. Not able to be connected to this. I need a C-type to USB for that. This does not have a C-type port. I don't think. I'm pretty sure my that's no. You know what? Tell me wrong. I mean, C-type port it's got is force charger. So that was not accurate. My apologies. Make sure I get the sound turned back up. Oh, that's the brightness. Hey, I can see. There's a world out there. Okay, turn that for the sound test.
Я думаю о том, что США набирает обороты.
Для нас кто лучше, Байден или Трамп?
Байден. Он человек более опытный, он прогнозируемый, он политик старой формации.
Primarily to what he was saying, and then I noticed the difference in his. Have a watch.
Я думаю о том, что США набирает обороты внутри.
Для нас кто лучше, Байден или Трамп?
Байден. Он человек более опытный, он прогнозируемый, он политик старой формации. Но мы будем работать с любым лидером США, которому окажет доверие американский народ. Послушайте, я когда встречался с Байденом в Швейцарии, это было, правда, несколько лет назад, 3 года, да, ну, и тогда уже говорили о том, что он недееспособный. Ничего подобного я не увидел. Ну да, он подглядывал свою бумажку, я, честно говоря, подглядывал свою. Ничего такого нет. Ну, то, что он где-то, выходя из вертолета, ударился там, головой этот вертолет. Но кто у нас не ударялся где-нибудь головой? Пусть первый бросит в него камень.
Am I the only one who sees a difference
The following is an interview with the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, shot February 6, 2024 at about 7 p.m. in the building behind us, which is, of course, the Kremlin. The interview, as you will see if you watch it, is primarily about the war in progress, the war in Ukraine, how it started, what's happening, and most pressingly, how it might end. One note before.
This was the baptism of Russia, when Prince Vladimir, the great-grandson of Rurik, baptized Russia and adopted Orthodoxy, or Eastern Christianity. From this time, the centralized Russian state began to strengthen. Why? Because of the single territory, integrated economic ties, one and the same language, and, after the baptism of Russia, the same faith and rule of the prince. The centralized Russian state began to take shape. Back in the Middle Ages, Prince Yaroslav the Wise introduced the order of succession to a throne. But after he passed away, it became complicated for various reasons. The throne was passed not directly from father to.
But do you see the difference in his body language? Do you see what I was saying as far as the difference in his actual physical body language between the two interviews? This is what I'm used to, this interview. That's what I'm used to from Putin. We'll go back to the other one and I'll turn that back up for you to actually be able to hear it.
Ascension WoW is a standalone World of Warcraft private server that reimagines WoW in a months.
Oh, they're actually being able to advertise? The private servers now like that. Calling me surprised. Okay. Like that. Oh, I can't do that again. Hopefully this doesn't go too screechy on you. Now, pay attention to his body language in this one compared to that other one.
Я думаю о том, что в США набирает.
Для нас кто лучше, Байден или Трамп?
Байден. Он человек более опытный, он прогнозируемый, он политик старой формации. Но мы будем работать с любым лидером США, которому окажет.
Notice how his shoulders are farther down.
Послушайте, я как
He's
с Байденом в Швейцарии.
legitimately more relaxed.
Ну, и тогда уже говорили о том, что он недееспособен. Ничего подобного я не увидел. Ну да, он подглядывал в свою бумажку, я, честно говоря, подглядывал в свою.
To be honest, and honestly, that's what I'm seeing here, is I'm seeing body language that speaks to honesty, talking to someone one-on-one is equal.
Но кто у нас не ударялся где-нибудь головой? Пусть первый бросит в него камень.
Yeah, what I'm seeing there is pretty stark contrast to most everything else I'm seeing or have seen.
I'll start in reverse order. Why now? Well, I've been trying, and for no really clearly stated justification, and I thought that can't stand. I want to live in a free country. I was born in one, and I'm going to do whatever small thing I can do to maintain, the society that.
That's not. That's fluff. Give me this.
Back in the Middle Ages, Prince Yaroslav the Wise introduced the
Now pay
order of
attention to his body
succession to a throne. But after he passed away, it
Shoulders
became
higher.
complicated for various reasons.
Sitting up straight.
The throne was passed not directly from father to eldest son, but from the prince who had passed away to his
This
brother,
is what I'm seeing more on
then
that
to his
on that
sons in
line.
different lines.
Потом сыновьям по разным линиям.
All
So
this
a
led
lot
to
of
the
the behavior
fragmentation
in
and
the
the end
original,
of Rus as a single state.
the first one, where his shoulders were down and whatnot, that comes off with a genuine feel to it. And I tell you, I usually am pretty good about telling a genuine feel. That's where here, I don't expect genuine. That body language tells me take everything that's being said with a grain of salt. That's what his body language tells me here. Do not trust this source at this time. This source is not necessarily being honest, trying to be a little shady, trying to pull something. As to where the other interview didn't come off that way whatsoever. It was no, I mean, really seemed like he was being honest, and that's a hard thing for me to say. Because I don't like this guy. Straight up don't like him. For many reasons. I have to say, as far as physically speaking, he looks like he's doing a little bit better for himself. Makeup doesn't cover it all up, but, you know. I mean, here, well, I'll keep playing it, but in this one, he's talking to someone below him, is what I get. I mean, his face right here, there is annoyance there. Why am I dealing with this? Is what I see there. And saw it a few more times earlier, too.
There was nothing special about it. The same was happening then in Europe.
Но раздробленное русское государство стало легкой добычей.
But the fragmented Russian state became an easy prey to the empire created earlier by Genghis Khan. His successors, namely Batu Khan, came to...
Yeah, his demeanor is a lot more matter of fact. This is a trained, I'm strong behavior from everything I've ever seen. I keep myself up stiff because I'm big and bad. That's where that other one was nowhere near it. You didn't see, or at least I didn't see, any tension in his muscles, any stiffness to them, as to where it is here.
To Rus, plundered and ruined nearly all the cities. The southern part, including Kiev, by the way, and some other cities simply lost independence, while northern cities preserved some of their sovereignty. They had to pay tribute to the horde, but they managed to preserve some part of their sovereignty. And then a unified Russian state began
That
to
was
take
micro
shape
gesture.
with its center.
That was a micro gesture, and that was at Tucker. He does not respect Tucker whatsoever. As much as I dislike the guy, again, I can't blame him. Tucker's a clown. And I apologize to all the true clowns out there, because it was kind of insulting you. You guys didn't deserve that. He's back. Nobody's home. And I'm trying to be nice.
Center in Moscow.
Оно начало
The southern part of Russian lands, including Kiev,
тому центру, который
began to gradually gravitate towards another magnet, the center that was emerging in Europe.
Его даже называли
Yeah, the slouch over in
This
his
was the
chair.
Grand Duchy of Lithuania.
The slouch over is also a sign of, hey, you're not anything to me. I'm not worried about you at all. You're not a concern.
It was even called the Lithuanian-Russian Duchy, because Russians were a significant part of this population. They spoke the old Russian language and were Orthodox.
Yeah, it's a, I don't like you. No, I've spent too much time in psychology, so I kind of have to. Minsk agreements, no. No, honestly, you should pay attention to everything that these world leaders do. And that's not something to be fooled about. About the 2014 Q. This is not something I am aware of, no. Coup. I vaguely have a memory of it, but it's not anywhere near pieced together. Coup. I said it wrong, sorry. Go ahead, please. Took out the government of Ukraine. I'm guessing that's what was it said. I could just not know what is Ukraine. If you were talking about is that supposed to be Ireland? Am I mixing places up here? Because I know, yeah, in 2014 we helped overthrow a Middle Eastern government to supposedly try to get people back in power over there. Everything I've heard so far is still funky, put it nicely. Not horrible, but it's definitely still not good. If I'm not mistaken, we still got troops deployed over there, still dealing with people. Maybe remnants, but it's not anything like it was in 2014, that's for sure. Okay. So my regional understanding of what the word was supposed to be was on point. It was supposed to be right. Very good possibility, in all honesty. These international agreements which sought to and to be sworn from. Yeah, no, I didn't have this information before now. Terrain no contact group and without recognition of their status by then leaders of self-proclaimed Dust People's Republic. This agreement forwarded multiple previous attempts to stop fighting and stop fighting was followed two, which side told them this agreement considered a package of measures including a ceasefire, withdrawal of heavy weapons from the front lines, war prisoners, Thank you for this information. If you're talking about now, the casualty numbers would have been higher. Back then, okay, that I can get. Text protocol. We should be a little bit more clear on this. As in clarity, not otherwise. 2015, the Minsk Protocol ceasefire completely collapsed following Russian victory at International Airport in defiance of the protocol. DPR spokesman will not be considered in the form it was adopted later in the day. DPR leader Alexander said that the DPR will not make any attempts at ceasefire talks anymore, and that his forces were going to attack right up to the borders of the Donetsk region. Just increasing violence, the companies on another round of this task schedule first. I don't trust anything. That's the whole reason why this talk's going on. Not to mention, I know the actual source of that video is the Kremlin. This is why the talk is being brought up. Okay, this is in detail for information that I had, which is more than appreciated. Yeah, I knew this was not the first time that the U.S. had been helping Ukraine. I knew this was not the first time that there was war had been going on. I knew that this was not just the start of something. And that's why I do kind of pay attention and do this. Not only do I get a chance to learn, but others do as well. Oh God, tell me about it. Yeah, I remember hearing about Alexander growing up quite a bit. But again, that's also part of the reason why I was saying with those videos, pay attention to the behavior, not the words. Make note of differences in behavior. Doesn't mean necessarily listen to what they have to say. Read that wrong at first. Okay. That makes a lot more sense now. I like actually having the fill-in information there. That is really nice. But at the same time, Ukraine may have quote started it, which really isn't quite what I gathered here. But why should we as Americans not, if our whole goal and whatnot is to try to make it so that way others can have the freedoms, which would include those that are under tyranny, why would we not help? Yeah, we chose Ukraine. Part of it's because, well, let's be real. Russia has plenty enough territory. They have their own fucking people. They don't need to push out and try to gain more territory. Time for that's supposed to have been done. It's obviously not. But taking care of America also means taking care of our allies. We are not alone on this planet. And if we try to strike out on our own, yeah, that would be foolish. Tax money for Americans, yeah. And, you know, things are starting to get turned around for that, too. Those who actually need proper taxation are starting to get it. Well, you're saying it's tax money for Americans? Maybe for the government. For the rest of us, not so much. I mean, other than paying it. Honestly, that tax money would be better spent on other things. No arguments there whatsoever. Such as, I don't know, universal health care, universal living wage. Things that would benefit our country quite a bit more. Economically speaking, as well as mental state overall, freaking average well-being and lifespan. Just those two things really drive up a lot. No, we are a democratic republic. Sorry, democratic constitutional republic. I should say that properly. And it'd be stupid for us to set out on our own. Because that's exactly what it'd be doing. It'd be pulling our own, bro. If we sit there and cut off our allies, we will be Rome. Old school Rome that fell because of its stupidity. thinking it was big and bad and could do everything by itself. That was Rome's fall. Yes, I have. And I would, including its amendments. And even if you want to say that the Constitution doesn't say it, I'll even say it doesn't. It doesn't change the fact that we are a democratic constitutional republic. Democratic refers to our style of managing government, our style of electing leaders. Republic is a different category from democratic. They're not opposite ends of the spectrum. They're two different governing tools of two different categories. My friend, go do some research. You've got a lot to learn. And I mean that with the utmost respect. Go look up what democracy means and how it relates to a republic, especially a constitutional republic. You may find yourself going, oh. No, legal terms aren't fuzzy. And nothing here we've talked about is legal term. The definitions aren't fuzzy either. So, well then, my friend, if you're a lawyer, I hope it's not for constitutional stuff and governmental stuff, because bro, you tripping. Not a democracy. Oh God, I love hearing that nonsense. I don't pretend. I've taken the time. I've done the research. Google is my friend for spelling primarily. After that, it is my friend for finding sources outside of states for news. All over the fucking world. Primarily looking inward, or should I say back home, but that would be the best way to look at it anyhow. And then, and only then, do I look at news sources from here. Because there's no point to seeing a bullshit until you can identify it. Just like people's behavior. I'll have to look up Copilot. Proper, good information sources. I'm not going to scoff at. I don't do that. Wiki, it's an okay source. Stuff like this, usually can get a decent idea without it being too much bullshit. If it becomes opinions and crap, I walk away. No. Most of my time is spent listening to legal law. Or, sorry. Wow, that was a horrible mess up. Political law. Oh, shit. I gotta laugh at that one. That was a horrible mess up. It was great. Political law, high-end science, documentaries. I don't typically spend my time on stuff like this. But, again, when you notice a difference in a leader compared to their normal, it is worth noting. Not necessarily worth be clear. It is worth noting. And that is the whole point, is to make note. You make note, and you can see the dot sign up in front of you. Actually predict what happened. But that was really the main point of this, was to note the difference between the two interviews. Well, not just the two interviews, but that first interview and this one, as well as pretty much anything else I've seen of Putin. New behavior. That was McGregor. Have a good day. Have a good time at work. Hopefully it's not too horrible for you. Check on country the picture. I get you. No. On the issue that was there. It was in vain, you know, and I'm already at the point of. I tried, didn't go the best way about it. And all I can do is work back on it. No, I don't actually go out of my way to be mean to these guys. It's not what I do. Just like any teenager, though. They do like to push boundaries. Even ones they full well know they shouldn't. It's just a political law, psychology, well, it's the documentaries and shit. Simultaneously playing games. Streaming and having conversations. I'm trying to behave myself. I hate having such knowledge of psychology. I really do sometimes. At 43. Half hour. So. Balls. Yeah. He does sometimes give me. It's even worse when you feel those emotions. You need to tell it. Hmm. Man, where's another behavioral? Yeah. One of those. It'd be nice to have somebody who actually has better knowledge of that field than I do. One, learning. Interesting. You almost didn't make it. Humans adventure price, huh? None of this McGregor book. Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Economic Enterprise. Look. Somebody photocopied it. I don't want to screw in the seal. No, they don't have a date. Third edition. Chicago Press, Chicago. And London. Oh, here we go. 66 to 68. These are the only dates we have. Just get through real quick. Don't want to be all steaming, so I don't spoil anything for myself. Okay, so if I'm getting this properly so far, I'm looking at a theory for the development that would already be. It's called profoundly as a opinion, but still. All right. See you later, T. I have to disagree with that. Creational skills and whatnot, it's not meant to be in an organizational setting. Creation's not something to be controlled. And creativity itself also can't be controlled. There's a flaw there. Do I really need to know how old this text is to know if there's actually been research done past this? Because this is really outdated compared to what the actual scenario is play. Well, honestly, no. No, let me rephrase that. You want to know where that bit exists of the creativity and creative image? Here, YouTube, Twitch, these streaming platforms, where for the most part people are allowed to be open to be themselves. That is the environment that not only drives creativity, but curiosity. Both of those things are needed for advancements in sciences. All the sciences. If you think I'm off on that one, you go ask Neil deGrasse Tyson himself. That's just it. If you want that creativity, you need to not be controlling, because that stifles creativity. The classic managers and bosses rule it all. So, no. Management does not consist of getting things done for other people. Management consists of being the leader of a team and working with your team to get things done. Not getting things done through other people. That's something that y'all business motherfuckers need to get through your heads. And that's why you keep having your issues with trying to find people that stay at your jobs. Especially my age and younger. See, unlike generations before us, we know what our value's worth. We know we should be able to live and survive on one 40-hour-a-week job. We're not stupid. We're not crazy. We're not ignorant or naive. We're not greedy. We're not selfish. We also won't be taken advantage of. And if you businesses want us to work for you, you're going to have to figure out how to not do that. You're going to have to change. Because change on this side's already happened. You're the ones lagging behind. God. One of the most ignorant statements about mankind. That is... that is ignorance of human nature. Period. I hate to tell you, most people don't like to be quote-unquote led. Most people don't like to be controlled. Most people find that stuff to be very offensive and disrespectful. But that doesn't seem to make it through. Inherently self-centered and indifferent to organizational needs. Yeah, no. If you provide a worker with the stuff they need, 9 times out of 10 they're loyal as fuck. If you don't fuck them over, if you treat them with respect and show them that they are a valued employee, not that they're just some expendable, you see an entirely different side of man. One that actually likes how they spend their time. One that feels fulfilled at the end of the day. As someone who's disabled and technically not allowed to work, I'll call bullshit on that one every fucking time. I don't give a flying fuck who you think you are, or what you think you know. The real world says otherwise. Now, this one here, I won't necessarily say I disagree with. Man can be very gullible and can be not very bright. But that's extremely generalized as well. That's not a good idea. By nature resistant to change. That's another fallacy. You show man that he can have better. He can have better life, be it he, she, otherwise, humankind I'm referring to. They're not going to be resistant to the change. Especially if they start seeing the effects almost immediately. And this is why I laugh at you business people. Because you think this shit's legit. fashioned from propositions and beliefs such as these. That explains why it's so fucked up and why it doesn't have an understanding of the common working folk. Not as much anymore. A lot of, especially smaller businesses and enterprises, are seeing how bad that's fucking them up and making change. Man, I am reading everything that is wrong with enterprise and industry nowadays, right here. Man is a wanting animal. If you're publishing something like this, you shouldn't be doing that. That's man is a wanting animal. As soon as one of his needs is satisfied, another one appears in its place. That's not true. That's not true. That puts a very fucked up definition to what satisfied is. Because I'm going to tell you now, a lot of people nowadays could be satisfied and would be satisfied with having the basic needs to live a half-assed comfortable life. After that, anyone who wants more already is doing the work. Is already putting in the effort to try to get basic and not able to. This process is unending. It continues from birth to death. Bullshit. I'm sorry. No, not completely bullshit. Because there are many people out there with mental health issues that no, they cannot be satisfied. But that is not mankind. And I've noticed that this little article I'm going to go back up here and double check this because I am not mistaken of my reading. I want to double check, because if it does, And so be it. It was first place in human effort. Okay. There's human is placed in here enough that it is mankind, not just man. And on that fact again, no. Oh God. Ego needs. Egos is for them to be popped and destroyed. Ego strength is okay. Himself. Well, that also is pointing one way. Satisfied need is not a motivator of behavior. Excuse me? I'm sorry. Let me break this down for you. Anybody who watches this or is watching now. If me working a job, say I was able to, more than this, meant I had food, I had what I need to stay sane, you don't think that's a motivator? I'm sorry. How is it not a motivator to lose, or having the risk of losing, what you have and how you're comfortable? I would love for someone to explain that one to me, because that makes zero fucking sense. One horrible example, easily disprovable. Your need for air kind of stops you from going into places where you don't have it. That is example of motivation and action due to it. Who are these idiots with no clue about psychology? I mean, I see they're obviously from a fucking university, but that doesn't mean they have a fucking clue. This is basic level survival shit that was just placed there, and I'm sorry. If you know there's a room with no oxygen in it, and do you think there's a way you're not going to be able to get back out, are you still going to walk into that room? If you are not mentally ill, are you still going to walk into that room and risk your fucking life for nothing? No, you're not. One might go in there to say that they got a chance to be in a space in a vacuum. that's a motivator for them to do so. Otherwise, there is a natural motivator that says, hey, I can't survive in there. If you're told that room has no oxygen, it's a fucking vacuum, you're not going to be able to breathe in there, are you going to walk in there with no oxygen tank and no air? Not unless you have a mental health issue. As someone who's has that mental health issue and has been there in the past and would have done it because I had a motivator to not be here, and nowadays, no, I'm not at that point. I have motivation to not do it because of its basic necessities, basic grounds. You want to talk about somebody wanting to sound smart? This is it. Wow. And this is a published fucking text? No, social sciences cannot contribute to that. Because it goes against everything that is humanity on its basic level. This doesn't understand humanity on its basic level. This is disappointing. I don't care if you're anyone's lawyer or not. If you believe that load of crap, you need to do some major social studying. Social psychology. And human psychology. Because you are still way apart from course. Hello, Lorenzo. Welcome in. You just happened to catch me at the end of a evaluation of a economic theory setup. We are live right now, yes. Yeah, now currently I don't have anything that's set private or members only. That's not currently how it's set up. Honestly, depending on how community feels, might end up making sleep streams under membership.
Brought in so many people.
Okay, let me straighten you out something here. If a country has brought you in, you can't be an invader. To be an invader, C would be the keyword, my friend. Depending on where you are, depends on what an illegal alien might look like. I mean, case in point, we've got people from Russia, Czech, everywhere. We've got people from all over that have not come in on proper means or have overstayed their visas. It's not just down south. As a matter of fact, I would encourage you to take a look. There were some people who actually thought there was big waves coming across, went down there themselves and ended up eating their words. And actually saying they didn't know what they were thinking. It wasn't what they were expecting, that's for sure. And that's coming from Trump supporters who are all gung-ho, expecting to see and try to capture these people, possibly. I would say, especially considering, I don't know where you're at, my friend. I wouldn't say that maybe they're not that. Blah! Come on. Maybe they're not illegals. I mean, no offense. I could line up 15 different people of a rich Mexican heritage. And I could almost guarantee you couldn't tell me who was legal and who wasn't. And each one of these people, I could tell you. No problem. Good luck. All right. Anything else here?